So RFK was on Joe Rogan the other day, and it's getting all sorts of play. The reason is RFK Jr. actually has some momentum against Joe Biden. Joe Biden is facing an actually fairly serious challenge by the polling data from RFK Jr. Now, RFK Jr., as I have said before, is a wild dude. RFK Jr. is a person who has said that not only did the CIA probably kill JFK, but probably they also killed his father, which is not true. Okay, Sirhan, who's a Palestinian terrorist, shot his father to death. But RFK Jr. has also been barred by the mainstream media and the legacy media from virtually any appearances, largely because he says things that the left doesn't like. It's not because of the conspiracism. It's because of everything else that they are barring him from all of their shows. And so that means that he has been relegated to going on places like Joe Rogan. Now, the problem for the legacy media is that more people listen to Joe Rogan than listen to any of their shows. The problem is that when RFK Jr. goes on shows like Rogan or goes on shows like Tucker's, presumably at some point, that or goes on with Elon Musk on Twitter Spaces, that those numbers actually dwarf what he would normally get by going on MSNBC or CNN. Robert F. Kennedy is currently topping both Joe Biden and Donald Trump in a new favorability poll. In fact, he's viewed favorably by 49% of respondents and unfavorably by just 30%, leaving him with a net rating of 19 points higher than any of the other candidates in the poll. Joe Biden, meanwhile, has a negative 9% favorability rating. 52% don't like him. 45% have very or somewhat favorable impressions. Trump has a negative 10-point rating. 53% unfavorable, 43% favorable. There are about 21% of respondents who didn't offer an opinion on Kennedy because a lot of people don't know anything about him. A lot of people just identify him by his last name. But again, the reality is that RFK Jr. is gaining popularity because he is saying that the COVID regime was dictatorial, which it was. Now, the problem is that also comes in a package with RFK Jr. saying kind of crazy conspiratorial things on a lot of other subjects. So, for example, here's RFK Jr. with Joe Rogan claiming that the CIA might assassinate him if he talks about what happened with JFK.
It turns out that people like that a lot more. And, we should be projecting economic power around the globe and not military power. It will make us much stronger.
But what do you think happens when you get into office? Like if you're talking about your uncle who's assassinated and you believe the intelligence agencies were a part of that, what happens to you?
Well, I got to be careful. I'm aware of that, and I'm not. I'm aware of that danger, and I don't live in fear of it, at all. But I'm not stupid about it, and I take precautions.
Okay, so again, Robert F. Kennedy has been a very long time, kind of weird guy for sure. But RFK Jr. has also, as I say, suggested that he's not going to seize everybody's guns. He has suggested that the government's treatment of its citizens during COVID was, in fact, dictatorial. And that, of course, is true. It's sort of fascinating to see how much success he's gotten. And the success is largely not because of him. It's because everyone in the Democratic Party is uneasy about Joe Biden, which means that were there a more serious progressive challenger to Joe Biden, a Bernie Sanders type, that person would probably draw 30% from Biden. I mean, that is a serious challenge. Biden could easily lose like Iowa and New Hampshire, which is presumably why the DNC rejiggered all of the numbers. Right? The DNC actually leads now with South Carolina to prevent exactly from happening in 2020. That they don't want that to happen again in 2024. They don't want somebody like Bernie Sanders coming in and winning a couple primaries and humiliating the sitting president of the United States. Sitting presidents of the United States don't typically lose primaries. Joe Biden could easily lose a primary in Iowa or New Hampshire, which is kind of an amazing statement. But again, that's because Joe Biden is falling apart. Let's talk about the way that you get money back from the government that you shouldn't have paid there in the first place. The CEO of Innovation Refunds and GetRefunds.com has been on TV recently explaining how they've helped so many small businesses with their ERC tax refunds. They've completed thousands of returns for different kinds of businesses, including over $700 million for construction companies and over $200 million in restaurants, bars, and hotels. Innovation Refunds has hundreds of 5-star Trustpilot and Google reviews and is certified with the Better Business Bureau. In just 8 minutes, you can easily start the process over at GetRefunds.com. You could be on your way to receiving up to $26,000 per employee. The ERC tax credit is not a loan, it's a refund on your already paid taxes designed to let the business owner direct the refund money into anything the business needs to grow. It's money you can use to improve your business however you see fit. So head on over to GetRefunds.com to start that process. There's no upfront charge. They're not going to get paid unless you do. Innovation Refunds has already helped clients claim over $5 billion in payroll tax refunds through the ERC. They might be able to help you as well. Go to GetRefunds.com or download the app from the App Store today. That's GetRefunds.com today. Again, GetRefunds.com to get started. When you're running a business, your employees create all sorts of fascinating situations for you, unless you have a good HR department. You need a good HR department. But nobody ever thinks about that, because when you establish a business, you're thinking about, can I get product on time to my customers? You're not thinking about whether Bob in shipping is a weirdo. This is why you need HR, and you don't need to pay tens of thousands of dollars to do it. Instead, you need Bambee. Bambee gives you access to your own dedicated HR manager starting at just $99 per month. This person is available to you by phone, email, and real-time chat. They'll help you run employee onboardings, terminations, and performance reviews. With Bambee's HR Autopilot feature, you can automate important HR practices like setting policies, employee training, and feedback procedures. All of Bambee's HR managers are based in the United States and can support the nuances across all 50 states. HR managers can easily cost $80,000 per year, but Bambee starts at just $99 per month. Schedule your free conversation today. See how much Bambee can take off your plate. Go to Bambee.com right now. Type in Ben Shapiro under podcast when you sign up. Again, it's spelled BAMBEE.com. Bambee.com. Type in Ben Shapiro when you sign up. That helps them know that we sent you, and it helps us because obviously if we sent you, they're more likely to continue to work with us. They are a great partner. Check them out right now. Bambee.com and get your HR department in order. It's not that RFK Jr. is so incredible, as I say. It's that Joe Biden is so bad. I mean, Joe Biden is clearly falling apart. And the media are obviously covering it up. I mean, they have no interest in the fact that Joe Biden is essentially a rusting ship that is barely in dry dock. Here was Joe Biden yesterday claiming that he's going to build a railroad across the ocean. Like, what the, really?
Well, we're going to win and we're going to help. We have plans to build a railroad from the Pacific all the way across the Indian Ocean. We have plans to build in Angola, one of the largest solar plants in the world. I can go on, but I'm not. I'm going off script. I'm going to get in trouble.
What? You're gonna build a railroad to the Indian Ocean? How? I mean, I do understand that Joe Biden is old enough to remember Pangea, like when all the continents were one. And so maybe he still thinks that can be achieved. But what? He's going to build a railroad across the ocean. Also, apparently, remember Build Back Better? He said it 1,000 times. Well, he can no longer say it because he can't speak words out of his face hole anymore.
We've mobilized the world's leading emitters to help poor countries deal with the impacts of climate change. They called it the G7, the Build Back Biden, Build Back Better, and we realized that got confusing. So now we don't call it that. What we call it is, here's the bottom line. Look, we're the ones that caused the problem.
He just does a little sentence.
The United States.
Here's the bottom line.
We cleared all our land. We did all the things to make things more easy for us to make money.
I tell you, got you. But seriously, folks, what I'm trying to say is, we'll start. Well, and then that guy, yeah, Trump.
That's kind of the campaign. And it turns out that it's not actually all that heartwarming to even Democrats. In fact, yesterday, Joe Biden was asked by a reporter about his affiliation with Ukrainian oligarchs and the fact that there are emails that exist in which he is referred to apparently as the big guy. These would be emails detailing money changing hands. This would be with regard to China, as the allegation of Tony Bobulinski, a former Hunter Biden associate. And Joe Biden got mad about it. Big mad.
Why did the Ukraine FBI informant file refer to you as the big guy? Why is that term really applied? Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Why did I ask such a dumb question?
Why do you ask such a dumb question? A smart question would be, who did it on Matlock? That's a smart question. That's a good question. A good question would be like, how many cans of Ensure do I need to take so I don't kill over? Or did Secret Service bring my extra set of Depends? Those would be good questions.
All right, guys, the rest of the show continues right now. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be joined on the line by reporter James Rosen. If you're not a member, become a member. Use code Shapiro. Check out for 2 months free on all annual plans. Click that link in the description and join us.